What's up everyone? I have a 5 elephant seal victory for you today, and honestly this doesn't really mean all that much just because when I was grinding for this it was all ghost teams. You see, like right now I'm about to fight a ghost team on turn 1. So yeah, you can see that the competition here really isn't that fierce, but I really wanted to get this as soon as possible, so here we go. I think this was like my third ever run of the new puppy pack, which I would like to claim that it's impressive that on my third run I got a 5 of a kind, but it's really not that difficult to do. You just have to not fool around too much in order to get a win on here. Like most of the time when I'm playing this with ghost teams, I was getting wins on like turn 10, turn 11, which it's really not supposed to be like that. So yeah, this is just going to be more like a showcase of what a 5 elephant seal win would actually look like in a proper gameplay. But yeah, I hope you enjoy nonetheless. I was very happy to get it myself just because, you know, it's a seal and I like the seal, any kind of seal. And I think it's actually going to be a very good unit in this pack because I don't think there's a lot of scaling. Like I've been playing around with some of the scaling units. Like the ways of scaling that I have discovered so far is like using the toys. You can see here that I took a lemur and I got like this radio. You can see that I'm looking at, because when it breaks it's going to give the units on my team plus 1 HP, which isn't really all that impressive at level 1. Maybe you want to get it up to level 2 so it can get plus 2 HP, but like getting the puppy as well, which is a tier 3 unit, and giving yourself early lasagnas with the oven mitts, I think that's also very powerful. Maybe you can accelerate the process of toys giving stats by using the drill and pill, the classic combo. Like I wasn't even thinking about it this game, but I think using drill and pill would actually be a good way to scale up early, because the other alternatives that I found so far are like the axolotl on tier 5, which you know, it's very late, you get it usually on turn 9. Maybe if you're lucky you get it on turn 7, but it's not something you should rely on. And yeah, I think from what I can see so far at least, I think this pack has a lot of temporary scaling, like the hatching chick, the toys that you get to break during battle, and all the perk foods that are like the pie, the pancakes that give you stats only during the battle, which it's not really a playstyle that I enjoy that much, but I think it's something that I'll get used to eventually. You can see here on this turn I take 2 goldfish, which I think is going to be a very good way to get some of the 5 of a kinds on the late game. Like, because you get to stack up so much gold, you get to transition kind of easily late game, which is something that you really want to do. Here I level up into a poodle chicken choice, which I think I'm going to take the chicken here after long consideration of what unit I want to sell. I'm really not impressed with the radio, so I decide to sell the lemur, and I decide to take the chicken just because the 3-9 start line of the elephant seal that it starts off with isn't really that impressive, so I wanted to bump that up a little bit. In the end I end up selling the hatching chick as well, just to get a tier 4 toy. I think this is the first time that I took a look at them, and I decided on the melon helmet just because it's the only permanent upgrade that you get, like the other two are just things to help you out during battle. Thankfully I end up losing here. As I said a little bit earlier, a lot of the problematic runs come from the fact that you win on turn 10, turn 11, so you don't really have all that much time to find your 5 of a kind of choice. So yeah, losing gives you a little more time than you would usually have against ghost teams, which is kind of nice. But it also shows me that this team isn't all that strong, it's falling off. Like I was relying on my tier 1 unit, like the 6-7, which name I don't really know. Like the green lizard that's getting health when I have a toy. But yeah, you can see it's not strong enough anymore, and even ghost teams are starting to beat me, even though it's only by 1 HP. But thankfully now that I get a melon on the front line, it may be a little bit of a different story. I think I decide to level up here, just hoping to find an elephant seal. Sadly, no luck. I get an octopus or a sauropod. I was thinking about getting a sauropod for a little bit, just because it's more food synergy, and that's something I'm going to want with the elephant seal, but it's kind of strange. I don't really like scaling with perk foods. I'd rather scale with lasagnas, but elephant seal in particular needs perks only to scale. So yeah, I have to rely on the perk foods and not the lasagnas, which is kind of sad. I don't know, there's a lot of new things that I have to get used to in this pack, which I don't really like for now, just because I'm used to not having to scale with perk foods, but maybe that's some force of habit that I've gotten myself into. Like later on, hopefully like in a month or something, I get used to perk scaling and make full use of it, but for now I'm just not super comfortable with it. I thought about freezing a chocolate maybe to give to a T-Rex or an elephant seal, so I have an easier time scaling, but I think it's not going to be necessary. Like, it's going to be more important for me to find equipment, and I end up losing once again, so I'm on 1 heart, no more fooling around. I have to get serious now. Thankfully I get 2 more melons, so it's going to be an easier time for me to win. And finally I level into an elephant seal. It's an 8-14, which is a great stat line, honestly. Like otherwise it would have started off as a 3-9, but because of the chickens I get a little bit of a head start. So yeah, and thankfully because of the goldfish I get some gold to play around with on this turn, hopefully finding more elephant seals, finding more T-Rexes. I did find 2 elephant seals on this row, which I think is very lucky. I'm going to include both of them and give one of them melon. And you can see it's a team-wide buff, +1/+1 only sadly, and so unless you level it to level 2 it's not going to be that relevant stat-wise. But yeah, it's better scaling than nothing, and in this pack, like I think scaling is quite scarce, so I'm going to be very happy with all the scaling that I can get. Finding the 4th elephant seal, very timely, just because I'm going to be giving 2 equipments to my team as well, so that the new elephant seal can get the buffs from the other ones. And I think I got this run in the bag basically just because the ghost teams that I'm going to be facing, they never have equipment, and when I have like 3 melons and a steak, they can't really compete, no matter how strong they are. Now I'm even getting another steak. So yeah, basically all that is left to do is for me to find the 5th elephant seal, because I think the team is going to be strong enough to win even like on turn 17. So yeah, I'll just keep rolling. Repositioning slightly here, not like it's going to matter, I'm just going to dominate, I bet. Let's see how the battle goes. You can see my seals are 3-for-1ing, 2-for-1ing, it's not really a big deal. I freeze a lasagna here for some additional stat gains, but you know, the number 1 priority right now is to find the 5th elephant seal, so I keep rolling. Sadly no luck on this turn, I don't find it, but next turn I'm going to find it for sure. Meanwhile, enjoy as I destroy another team without having improved it all from the last turn. And yeah, this is going to be the final battle. Getting the seal here, I was thinking about giving it a melon. I actually do give it a melon, but I think I replace it with a pancake, just because it's funny. and it gives some stats, so I think it's going to be useful. So yeah, this is going to be the final team. If you enjoyed the fight, please like, sub, do all the generic stuff, leave a nice comment, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care.